this is Mr. Arno Elmer from Berlin speaking. Thank you very much for the time. A lot is already said in this presentation. So we are a company based in Berlin, operating in especially Germany with several projects, and we are already in the rollout of something we have heard today. Please, next slide. So, as already mentioned before, you all know these mega trends. Our experience over the last more or less 10 years, it's not about technique, it's all about people, as also mentioned before today. For example, it's about convincing or winning physicians to contribute in such projects. And so we are looking, as I mentioned, yes, also before, we are open for corporations, and we are already looking for partners to realize projects, not to realize research projects, but real life to help people, to help elderly people to stay as long as possible at home. So next slide, please. There's a huge market, by the way, so this could be a very interesting also commercial or economical challenge, this field of elderly people here in Germany, but also all over in Europe. So we are not only talking about technique with our partners, we are also talking about business models for sustainable business concept, so that in the future the solutions are not only paid by research funds, but also are payable by private people. Next slide, please. One of our goals or core ideas is that we do not only focus on health or e-health, but we are asking the people at home what are the real needs they have. And this could be out of the dimensions like comfort. This could be issues like security, or only, but very important, communication, for example, video conferencing, but also with the social network and so on. So our aim is not talking about health or e-health with practitioners, doctors, hospitals, care providers, and so on, but in the first step, always to ask the patient, must not be a patient, but to ask for the specific individual needs. Next slide, please. And to fulfill these needs, it's always also heard before. It's also very not only necessary, but it's crucial to find an individual configuration of the system at home, and this is what we are doing. So we are more in the service and consulting field, not in the technique delivery part. So technique is the one part, but technique is also already mentioned. Technique is already in place or available. So our aim is more in the field of integration of different components, hardware, sensors, software, and so on, and then to fulfill the expectations of the patient or the providers at home. And next slide. And to bring this all together, and so I think this vCare project is very, very interesting concerning this approach. The approach we are now try to realize here in Germany. Open platforms are needed, so it's not about a single solution. Nevertheless, we are talking about a single app, a single sensor, or with a single use case. It's more bringing together the several solutions already in place you all have in mind, and our aim or approach is to bring together these different solutions or this different usage cases for the patient, at least at home. And that's it. Last slide. And so we are already, as mentioned before, always open for partnerships, for cooperation, and yes, looking forward if there are some questions or answers.
Thank you. I just had a small question to you, because I think what is very interesting here is that what you're trying to do is actually to do an integration and a selection work at a regional level. So you're trying to create an ecosystem and to build up. So you're increasing the services, and you actually are yourself with your team doing the selection. What is the methodology that you are using to do that?
It's a very good question. The first methodology is to ask people out there, people who are willing to invest more or less something, with the aim to, yes, as mentioned before, to give the elderly people as a possibility and also the framework to stay as long as possible at home. So we are looking. It's more or less about networking, asking, not convincing. So we're looking for people or organizations that are already convinced that it makes sense from their specific point of view, that it makes sense to invest money, resources, whatever, to invest something in the aim of starting pilot projects. So we are not in the first phase looking for a business case, a cash flow, return on investment, or something like that. In the first step, this is you ask for a methodology. We are looking for people that are willing to start together, and we believe that only cooperation models will lead to a successful project.